Thank you for joining us for our discussion about WeatherTRAK alert management tools. Before we get started, let me say that today's training is not designed to discuss specific alert information. So if you're wanting to check out technical videos about a specific alert, the best resource for that is our YouTube channel, where we've got a playlist where each individual WeatherTRAK alert has its own video that describes what that alert is and some technical information about each individual alert. The easiest place to find that playlist is by logging into your WeatherTRAK.net account and going to your alerts list page. And on the top of the alerts list page, there's this link here that says Alert Help Videos. If you click on that link, it will take you straight to the YouTube playlist with each of the alert videos. But today, instead of talking about what each individual alert means, we're going to talk about the WeatherTRAK alert management tools and how WeatherTRAK is designed to get the right information to the right manager at the right time to make managing these alerts as efficient as possible. So let's begin by discussing what is a WeatherTRAK alert. An alert is the WeatherTRAK system's way of notifying a user that it has detected something that it thinks that the manager might want to know. So WeatherTRAK is always running automatic system diagnostics and analysis of many of the individual components of your irrigation system. And if something needs a manager's attention, a WeatherTRAK alert will be raised. Things like a change in controller status, where someone might turn your controller off or the rain sensor might kick in, are things that a manager wants to know about. In addition, WeatherTRAK is constantly testing your hardware and testing all of the electrical components of your irrigation system. So if there's something about your electrical hardware or your flow hardware or your controller hardware that the WeatherTRAK wants you to know about, there are different alerts for each one of these types of events. Also, communication is an important part of WeatherTRAK management. So if we lose communication to that controller, there's alerts. There's even alerts related to your programs. And if WeatherTRAK identifies a conflict in your programs, it will raise an alert. And lots of other little things that WeatherTRAK thinks that managers might want to know will create a WeatherTRAK alert. So think of WeatherTRAK alerts as your friend that not only provide notification of a potential problem, but it's like having an irrigation tech on site 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, acting as your eyes and ears while you're not there on site, and raising an alert anytime the system thinks that management might be required. And as a manager, this information is solid gold. By knowing where and when system issues are happening, you as a manager can react much faster and minimize the damage and cost of irrigation issues on your site. It's important to understand that while not every WeatherTRAK alert is critical, managing alerts is one of the most critical things a site manager can do, as seeing, understanding, and using this alert information is the most efficient way to stay on top of system and site issues. So for our conversation today about the WeatherTRAK alert management tools, we're going to talk about all the different ways and places that you can manage your WeatherTRAK alerts. So first, I'll do a quick demonstration of the WeatherTRAK mobile app and show you some of the alert management tools available there. Then we'll look at the alert management tools at the controller. And finally, I'll demonstrate the alert management tools at WeatherTRAK.net, where you'll find advanced notification options, such as text and email notification when an alert is raised, or where you can set up a recurring report that will summarize all of the on-site alert information in a report that gets delivered to your inbox at the same time every week. Let's begin with a quick demonstration of the alert tools at WeatherTRAK Mobile. When you first log into WeatherTRAK Mobile, you'll land on this site page, where you can scroll through and select the site that you wish to manage. Hit the small button on the right to advance from the sites page to the controllers page. This is where we begin to see the alert activity. The green box that's displayed indicates that this controller is online. But if the controller were off or offline or currently in any other controller status, that icon will change. Right next to the controller status icon, we see two numbers. The red number indicates the number of major or critical alerts that are on this controller. The gray number below that is the number of non-critical alerts that we have. So now let's advance to the next screen to drill down on those alerts. We do that by clicking the big button on the left labeled Settings page. And on this page, we find all of our controller level commands, where the first thing we see is the controller alert information, or all of the active alerts for this controller. Now we see why we have 3 red alerts and 2 gray alerts. The alerts that are highlighted in red and indicated with the red exclamation point are considered major or critical alerts that can immediately impact the health of the landscape. And if they appear in gray, they are minor alerts. But if you're a new WeatherTRAK user, you might not understand what this alert is trying to tell you. In this case, if I'm looking at my WeatherTRAK mobile app and I see that I have a no-flow alert, but I want to understand better what a no-flow alert is trying to tell me, all I have to do is click on the button that says no-flow alert. And when I do that, WeatherTRAK Mobile will bring up the alert details for this alert. At the top of the page, you'll find the description, which has the exact information that the controller measured that generated the alert. In this case, we have a no-flow alert, and you can see the exact stations that are affected by this alert, so we know exactly which valve boxes we need to walk to out in the field to find the issue that we're looking for. So the description information is unique specific to your site and your controller. Beyond that, we have some general information about this alert. With WeatherTRAK, we have 3 different classifications of alert severity called minor, major, and critical. Just beyond that, we have the definition and possible causes of this alert. What has caused this alert on your controller? Or what is this alert trying to tell you? Then we have the controller action. With WeatherTRAK, each alert has a unique response that allows the controller to react to whatever the site condition is, minimize any site damage or water loss that might occur from such an event, and when possible, continue to irrigate to keep the rest of the site healthy and well irrigated. Then after the controller action, we see possible remedies or places to start looking for a solution to this alert, and then how to clear that alert from the controller so you can test your repair and resume normal irrigation. For even more information about this alert, we have an alternate resource. If you scroll back to the top of the page, we have this link that says click here to see how to resolve this alert. If you click on that link, it will take you to our knowledge base article for this alert, and embedded in that article is a video designed to detail from an irrigation tech's perspective exactly what that alert is and some basic troubleshooting information for that alert. So using this information effectively can help guide your troubleshooting process, help guide you to exactly what the WeatherTRAK is reporting, understand whether it needs to be fixed or not, and if it does need to be fixed, help point you to some troubleshooting tips and tricks that will help you find and solve your problems quickly. It's important to understand that a station with an alert on it will not be able to run manually. If I go to my stations page, you can see that these 2 stations, stations 1 and 2, are affected by alerts. And so I don't even have the button that would allow for manual irrigation. So the next thing I want to show you is how to clear this alert so you can continue troubleshooting in the field. To do that, we go back to our alerts page, and down at the bottom of the page we have 3 buttons: clear flow, clear electrical, or clear both. When you feel like you've found and resolved the hardware problem that was causing the alert in the first place, we just want to clear those alerts to allow manual irrigation to happen again by pushing the button at the bottom of the page, in this case, the one called Clear Flow Alerts. And when we do that, we're immediately prompted with this message saying essentially that these alerts will remain on this page until they're cleared from the controller, and that this can take a few minutes to happen. So the clearing of alerts doesn't happen at the same speed as manual irrigation. This is something that might take a minute or 2. But when the system has cleared the alert, then it will disappear from this alerts page, and you'll be able to run those stations manually and test whatever repairs you've made. So the reason I prefer using WeatherTRAK Mobile when troubleshooting alerts in the field is not only the visibility to high quality alert information that will help me understand and solve my problems, but the access to tools that make it easy to clear alerts to minimize the amount of time that it takes in troubleshooting in the field. Now that we've looked at some of the alert management tools available at WeatherTRAK Mobile, let's investigate some of the alert management tools on the controller itself. You begin to see the WeatherTRAK alert management tools when you're standing at the controller as soon as you open the door to the controller. Because this run screen is the first screen you'll see when you open the door, and if you look in the bottom right corner of the display, you can see the word alert flashing. This notification is designed to tell you that there is an alert affecting the controller that WeatherTRAK thinks a manager would want to know about. So to begin to investigate this alert, we go to the alerts menu or click on the alerts button. And here on the first screen of the alerts menu, we have the alerts overview screen. This is where we view alerts by category. So if you look at the line just below the header, you see a series of 2-letter codes indicating all of the different alert categories. So with FL, we're talking about flow alerts. VL are valve alerts. CM are communication alerts. WD are water window alerts. DY are water day alerts. HD are station high depletion alerts. HW are hardware alerts, and SB are subscription alerts. So here on the alerts overview screen, we can learn what category or what type of alert we have. Because if your controller has an alert in one of these categories, it will display an error message with an error message underneath the proper alert category. So in this case, we see the error message underneath the FL or the flow alert category. This tells the user that I've got a flow alert on this controller. And while that's good information, it's not all the information that I need. From here, I need to go to the alert details screen to find the specific details of this alert. So with one push of the forward arrow, I advance to the alert details screen for flow alerts called View Flow Status. This is the first alert details screen. Notice if I use that forward arrow to advance again, I'll advance to the View Valve Status. And as I click through, you can see that each of the alert categories has its own alert details screen. But for today's conversation, we want to go to the View Flow Status or the Flow Details screen to talk about how to troubleshoot this specific alert. So once you're on the alert details screen, if you have a station-based alert like a flow alert or a valve alert, it will ask you to press select to view. And this takes you to a station-by-station breakdown of all of the stations on your controller, and the WeatherTRAK will display which alert is affecting which station. So in this case, you can see that underneath the O3 or underneath station 3, we have the NF notification. And then on the bottom of the screen, we see that NF equals no flow. So we know that we have a no flow alert affecting station 3. Note that this first screen will only show the first 8 stations of your controller. So if you have more stations that you need to investigate, you use the forward arrow to scroll through all of the stations on your controller. Again, it's important to note that a station with an alert on it won't run manually. So if I go to run station 3 manually currently, when I add minutes, the timer automatically goes to 0, telling me that I have an alert on this station that won't allow me to operate this station manually. So just like on the app, clearing these alerts is an essential and handy tool. If you're standing at the controller and you want to clear the alert, we go back to the alerts menu and find the specific alert. So you select the alerts menu and then you go forward to find the alerts details screen that you're looking for. And when you find your alerts details screen, I would select that details screen to make sure I see the alert that I'm looking to clear. And then all I have to do is press the star button and that will automatically clear that alert. So the star button is the key to clearing alerts when you're standing at the controller, and then once the alert is cleared, I can go back to that station and run it manually to test my repair and make sure that the alert condition has been fixed. So even though you don't get the definitions and support materials like you get on WeatherTRAK Mobile, the alert management tools at the controller are important to my field users. Because while you're out in the field troubleshooting, you have access to great alert information, including the specific type of alert and the station that's being affected. And clearing those alerts is a key troubleshooting tool. So if you don't have access to the app, it's nice to know that you can do it on the controller. It bears mentioning that following the steps in this demonstration would work on a WeatherTRAK LC Plus or a WeatherTRAK ET Pro 3. But with the WeatherTRAK OptiFlow XR, the panel is locked, and you would need to unlock the panel from your app before following the steps in this demonstration. And with that, we're ready to move on and discuss the alert management tools available online at WeatherTRAK.net or WeatherTRAK Central. And the alert management tools available at WeatherTRAK.net can be seen as soon as you log in. Because when you log in, you'll land here on the home page, and the first thing that you see on the home page is our alerts and operations dashboard, which contains an account summary which shows you how many controllers you manage and how many alerts you have, and then we have what we call the controller status summary. And controller status is designed to tell you what a controller is doing right now. So if someone has turned your controller off, or you have controllers that have been paused for some reason, you have immediate visibility into that. And here on the controller status summary, if you want to drill down and find out which controllers are affected, it's as easy as clicking on the icon that you want to drill down on. So if I wanted to find out which 2 controllers I had paused, for example, I'd click on paused, and WeatherTRAK.net would take me directly to a display showing me exactly which 2 controllers might have scheduled irrigation affected by a rain pause. So back on the home page, the controller status tells us a little bit about all of our controllers, what each controller is doing out in the field. Then next to that, we have the alert category summary. This is designed just to be the highest level of alert information, telling you what types of issues you have on your systems and pointing to the manager that might be responsible for a response. So if you have system alerts, you would want your field team or your irrigation team to go out into the field and troubleshoot and diagnose. As we scroll down, we then see the next thing up on the display is the major alerts. And on the home page, we just display a little bit of information about each major alert to call your attention to the most important things on all of the WeatherTRAK sites that you manage. So this major alerts display is designed to call your attention and help you start to drill down on each individual alert. For that, we want to scroll back up to the top of the page and navigate from our home page to our alerts page. And here on the alerts page, you see we have 2 options. Alert setup, we want to go to alerts list. And the alerts list page contains all of the information for all of the alerts on every WeatherTRAK controller that we have access to. So you can go in here and look at any individual alert and find the time and date that that alert was generated, the specific alert category and alert type, where that alert lives in terms of the account name, the site name, the serial number, and the controller name, and what type of controller you have and version of firmware that it's running. Then we get to the description. And you'll notice on the display for the description that there's a dashed underline. If I hover over that description and then click on it, it will bring up a call-out box that tells me exactly the information that the controller knows about this alert. So it might have specific measured values or specific stations that are affected to help provide insight in exactly what troubleshooting will require. This is the exact same information we saw on the description field on WeatherTRAK Mobile. You might also notice that under the alert type, there's a dashed underline and a call-out box. In this case, we give you all of the alert details for that alert type, the definition and possible causes, controller action, and possible remedies, information that might help you provide the most efficient response to this alert. If you're troubleshooting from WeatherTRAK.net and you want to clear these alerts, you can do that from the alerts list page as well. All you'd need to do is come over to the line where the alert you want to clear is displayed, check the box of the alert that you want to clear, and then come up to this Clear Flow and Electrical Alerts button and push that button. And you'll see this message that asks you to confirm that you want to clear all the flow and electrical alerts for this controller. Hit yes, and that will send the signal to that controller to clear that alert and allow you to continue troubleshooting. So here on the alerts list page, there's a lot of great information about each specific alert, including details about that alert type and a description of the specific information about your alert, as well as the ability to clear flow and electrical alerts. Now let's check out the alert management tools on the alert setup page. Here on the alert setup page is where a user would set up their remote alert notification preferences. To say that a different way, WeatherTRAK is designed to provide text and email messages about each individual alert that your controller creates. And while we know that all alerts are important, we also know that they're not all equally important. So WeatherTRAK provides a structure where you can select which alerts will push notification to you and your preferences on how that notification takes place. Specifically, this is where you'll define which alerts provide notification, and you define the hours in the day and the days of the week that you want this notification to happen, so you can receive your alert notification in a time that makes sense to your workflow. For example, if my controller detects that a mainline break has happened out on my site, as an irrigation tech, that is critical information. So here on the alert setup page, I find the notification preferences for my mainline break alert, and I would select to receive both an email and a text message when a mainline break alert is raised. And then WeatherTRAK allows you to customize when you will receive this alert notification. So for a critical issue like a mainline break, I might set that up for between 6 a.m. and 6 a.m., 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When that mainline breaks, I want to know about it. Now, in contrast, if I have a broken head or a station high flow alert, while this is important information, it's not wake me up in the middle of the night kind of important. So for a station high flow alert, I might select the preferences to receive an email notification about this alert, but I might skip the text notification. And with this type of alert, I might select to only hear about it when I'm in my work truck, maybe between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., and only on the weekdays. That way, if the system detects a broken head on Saturday night, it's not going to bug you when you're not in a position to make that repair. With these station high flow settings, the WeatherTRAK would save that alert notification till 9 a.m. on Monday morning, and then it would push that email to you so you know exactly what controller and station need your attention. My pro tip on this is to make sure not to oversubscribe. I don't recommend subscribing to all alerts, only the ones that are most important that you know about immediately. Remember, complete information is always available at the controller, online, or on the app. So to set up your own remote alert notification subscriptions, you come to the WeatherTRAK Alert Setup page, and you fill out your contact information, and you customize your remote alert notification preferences, and then all the way down at the bottom, you select which controllers you want to be notified about. And remember, whenever you make changes, always save and send. The final alert management tool that we want to check out on WeatherTRAK.net lives on the reports page. And the report that we want to create is the multi-controller alert report. So we select the multi-controller alert report from the drop-down menu. And once we've selected the correct report, WeatherTRAK asks us to customize the specifics of our report. This is where you can select which controllers you want to appear in the report, or select all controllers to make it easy. And you can select the reporting period. So for a weekly report, I might select just to see the last 7 days. And then you can filter the alert information as you want as well. Some people like to disregard the irrigation status because that shows all of the manual irrigation, and it creates a much longer report. I think it creates a complete picture, so I like to leave it checked. And I always make sure to select Show Closed, because this will show any alerts that were raised and or resolved in the last 7 days. Once I've got the report customized the way that I want it, the third step is to select how I want to receive this report, where I can immediately render this report in a PDF or an Excel spreadsheet, or I can select the option to subscribe to this report. And when you select to subscribe to this report, to set up the subscription, the first thing we do is add a description. So if we're creating a weekly alert report, that's what I would call it. Then we set up the start date, the time and date that we want our first report to be delivered. So if I want a weekly alert report delivered every Friday afternoon at 3 p.m., I would select next Friday at 3 p.m. Then I select whether I need the report delivered on a days of the week schedule or a days of the month schedule. If I wanted that report to be delivered every Friday, I would only leave the Friday box selected. Or if I select days of the week by month, I could select to have that report delivered on the 1st and the 15th or something like that. Once we've set up the subscription information, we then identify who's to receive this information. So you'll see the email settings, where by default it will send it to the owner of this account, but we can also set it up to carbon copy or even blind carbon copy multiple recipients. So on a weekly alert report, you might copy either your customer or your irrigation tech. Make sure to copy anybody who needs visibility into this weekly alert summary. And once you've got the report subscription all set up the way that you'd like it, you hit Save Subscription. And with that subscription set up, WeatherTRAK will deliver that report until you tell it to quit. To manage your report subscriptions, come back here to the reports page and click on this Manage Report Subscriptions in the upper right-hand corner. This will take you to a page where you can see all of your report subscriptions, and if you're done with a report subscription, you can delete it. And when you have the multi-controller alert report in your hand, you can see Very specific and very helpful information about your alert conditions, including time and date that the alerts were raised and resolved, how long those alerts lasted, including alert severity and specific alert type, and then the controller name and serial number, and again, alert descriptions that tell us anything the controller knows about this specific alert. And that brings us to the end of the tour of the WeatherTRAK alert management tools, where we've seen the tools on WeatherTRAK Mobile and when you're standing at the controller, and finally online at weathertrak.net, where we checked out all of the detailed alert information available online and advanced alert features like text notifications and report subscriptions. I hope this training helps you operate your WeatherTRAK systems efficiently, and if you need more support, don't hesitate to call our customer support team at 1-800-362-8774 or email them at support@hydropoint.com.